Good morning. Good morning. Yo, welcome again to this series of talks for men. Um, and I really don't have a title for it. I'm just trying to help men to win in the things that matter. So we're right back at it again. This is a subject that I think will be of interest to a lot of men and women. It's always interesting to me that anytime we talk men stuff, just how interested women are in, how interested women are in, how interested women are in our stuff. There we go. Woo, man, a little tongue tied this morning. Anyway, Dr. Myron Edmonds here, and just want to welcome you guys to another content sharing moment about how men can win in the things that matter. I am primarily focused on men and relationships that men have in their lives and how they can, not only be successful in career, but be successful in every area. We don't want men to be lopsided in terms of their success, as we talked about yesterday. If you want to watch more of these, you can go to my YouTube page, Dr. Myron Edmonds. Just go there, and you can catch up on all the videos that we shared. We've also shared them on our Facebook page as well. Anyway, and we're live on Instagram. Shout out to Instagram. What's good? 5:30 a.m. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Morning, bro. All right, so let me pull these slides up today. I want to talk about this is not controversial. At least I don't think it is. I was about to say I want to talk about something that's controversial, but honestly, that would really just be more me trying to put sauce on it. But it could be controversial for some people. But I want to talk about you know um, how to get women to follow your lead as a man. How to get women to follow your lead as a man. Now, the dynamics in relationships are changing um, in comparison to the way they have been historically, meaning, um, there used to be a time, more traditional family structures where, man of the house, you the man of the house, and whatever the man says goes. And women embraced that role to some extent. Embrace may be too strong a term, but they definitely fell in line with that because that was really how people were raised. That was society. Men went to work, wives stayed at home. Well, all of this has changed completely. It has completely changed now, and we have less of a patriarchal setup in most of our homes, where it's the man's word, it's the man's um, it's the man, it's a man's world. You know what I'm saying? To now, we have more of an egalitarian. What I mean is there's more equality, and I think it's a good thing. Be honest with you, I think it's a great thing. I grew up in a home where both my parents were professionals. Dad was a pastor, mom was a lawyer. I grew up watching the Cosby Show. Anybody watch the Cosby Show coming up, or am I the only one? Did anybody watch the Cosby Show coming up? Cosby Show kind of, established in the minds of at least those of viewers and kind of shaped the culture that this should be the norm. At least this is what we should aspire to. You had Heathcliff, Huxtable, and you had Claire Huxtable, and Claire Huxtable was a very strong woman. Claire Huxtable was a professional. She was an attorney. Cliff Huxtable, he was a lawyer. I mean, he was a doctor, and it was, honestly, when I grew up as a kid, everybody wanted to be the Cosbys. To be honest, man, they had it going on. But if you remember the dynamics of that relationship, you couldn't say that one person was in charge and one person wasn't. It depended on the situation. It was very what we would call egalitarian. It was very there was a lot of equality in how they handle relationships. Honestly, maybe unconsciously, subconsciously, if you grew up in the 80s, and you wanted a relationship like that, right? Now, I'm not talking about what happened with them off, behind the scenes, but it was a powerful depiction on what a family could look like, right? And what a marriage could look like. And honestly, man, I'm not saying we should take our cues from television, but Man, I thought they did a great job of portraying what equality, could look like in a relationship. But Claire Huxtable was very strong, and it felt like, Cliff, who was also strong in his own right. Um, it felt like Cliff Huxtable in the Cosby Show. There were times that his wife dominated what was going on, depending on what the situation was. And there were times that he did. These are images we just never saw. Okay. These are images we never saw. If you grew up watching Good Times was, Mama was strong, no doubt about it. And if you grew up in a black families typically, Mama is strong, Daddy works and is quiet. Mama's strong, she talks, Daddy's quiet, he works, he shows no emotion, you barely see him. Good Times, they were a family struggling, living in the projects. Dad was angry all the time. And Florida, the mom, she was the matriarch. But you still felt like it was Dad was running that thing. Yeah, you feared him. You know what I'm saying? JJ and all them, they feared him. That's what many of us were raised under. If you are 40 and up, but now my kids are raised in a very egalitarian environment. And to be honest, my wife is very strong. My wife is, professional. She's a dentist. So, because of the age and the shift of women in the workforce and the career, establishing themselves, changing marital patterns and so forth and so on, people getting married later, blah, 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 blah. I have heard a lot of men who bemoan the fact, and I'm just going to be real, there are a lot of men who are calling for these traditional values again. They are. Now, I'm saying you do whatever works for you, right? I believe in the word of God, and I believe that Adam and Eve were to have dominion over the planet, not dominion over each other. All right, so I'm going to say that again. I believe Adam and Eve were made as equals, right? And if you look carefully at the text, which I don't have time to do today, maybe on another one of these calls, you will see that God gave them both dominion, right, and authority, but he gave them dominion over the planet, not over each other, right? Now, we could talk about submission and some of those other things later. However, when sin came in, we see, a difference in the dynamics of the relationships. And there are a lot of men who are looking for, I'll put it like this, there are a lot of men who are looking for their women to follow their leadership. There are a lot of men who are looking for more traditional values in their women. The funny thing is they want them to work. They want them to make, to make money, some of them. But many of them, honestly, if they're honest, they prefer, that they be the breadwinners and that their wives could stay at home and that their wives, would not have to have a career, and I've heard a lot of women say the same thing, like, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't, what I'm saying? I would love to be at home, or to be doing whatever I wanted to do, home, whatever. So, I think, needless to say, I think where I want to land today is just the frustration that many men have when they feel like their women are not following their lead. I hear men say all the time, I'm the man of this house. I'm the priest of the home. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that mean? Right now. So what I want to do is give you some advice real quick to all the brothers out here, that if you want your woman, your wife, right, to follow your lead, because I honestly do believe, even in a egalitarian relationship where there is equality, that there is a level, and I've talked to a lot of women who want to be able to follow their husband's lead, who want to be able to allow them, who want to let them be the leaders of the home. But many of them struggle to allow that transference of leadership because of this thing that I want to talk about today. So depending on where you land on this, that's your business. But I want to talk about why it may be really difficult for men to get the respect, right? And to get I'll use the word submission, why it's difficult for many men to feel as though that they are the man of the house. Why their women struggle to relinquish their trust in their leadership. right? So depending on, no matter where you are on here, I'm going to tell you what I believe is the reason why men struggle, or why women struggle, I should say, to follow the lead of their men. All right, here we go. I believe that the reason why is because the hardest person to lead in the home is neither women, and I'm talking about men. Listen, brother, the hardest person to lead is not your wife, and is not your children or anybody else. The hardest person to lead is you. And I believe that one of the reasons why we may struggle with the leadership piece, why we struggle with women trusting, I'm just saying, generally speaking, in my 25 plus years of counseling couples and working with marriages and so forth, and I'm not saying this is the case in every case, I'm just speaking generally, right? Many women struggle to follow the lead of their men for a number of reasons, right? So let's talk about some of them. Some of them are, right, just because they have their own personal issues, maybe childhood stuff, maybe trust issues, maybe previous relationship issues. Maybe that woman got their own stuff. The man is doing the best he can. He is not perfect, but he is giving her no reason at all not to follow his lead, right? There are those cases, but I'm talking about in the majority of cases, what I've discovered is the reason why women struggle to, relinquish their trust to follow the lead of their men is because the hardest person for a man to lead ain't the woman. It's just they don't trust your leadership because you don't lead yourself well. And I'll just be honest, this was my situation in my home. I believe my wife wants to lead. My wife is a career woman, but she's like, bruh, as soon as you're ready, you know what I'm saying, I'll stay at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love to be at home gardening and, sitting around all day and whatever. Hey, look, say less. Let me know when, you know what I'm saying? That's my wife, right? But I realized we were having a tension in our marriage, with me feeling like, man, she don't trust me. She don't trust me to lead. One of the things I used to hate, in our marriage is when my wife would question me about stuff. When she would question me, man, I'm telling you, I mean, brothers, tell the truth. That joint drive you crazy. When she questioning you on stuff, be like, yo, I got this. But the truth of the matter is, one of the reasons why she was questioning my leadership is because, bro, I did not lead myself well. And then on the things that I was asked to do, I would oftentimes drop the ball. I would oftentimes forget. Now, this kind of goes back to yesterday's conversation when I was talking about how career was everything to me, pastoring and, doing the Lord's work and, leading a congregation and, preaching the word. I was very diligent in all those things. I was very diligent in preparation for preaching, very diligent in organizing my church, very diligent in developing leaders, very diligent in setting myself up to be, considered successful in what I did as a pastor, very diligent, a student, got degrees and more degrees than a thermometer, master's, doctorate, all of that, proficient, efficient, on my game, sharp, you know what I'm saying? Standing on business, right? But when it came to home life, I was trifling. When it came to my home life, I wasn't as sharp at home with relational matters, with the kids and homework and details and getting stuff done and to-do lists and getting stuff fixed and keeping the house clean and helping here. And no, bro, how is it that you are so dope over here, but when it comes to home and our relationship and the marriage and our and romance and all these stuff, you are not as efficient and as deliberate and as intentional and as sharp as you are with your career? And what it began to show me is that my wife was losing trust in me at home because I had been dropping the ball at home. I wasn't dropping the ball at work. And I heard this illustration from the book One Thing. And one of the things that it says in the book One Thing, excuse me, my allergies are bothering me. One of the things it says in the book One Thing is that, a man basically has all these balls that he is juggling. One is family, one of his relationship with God, one is career, and we're juggling, and he's juggling these balls. And guess what? Career is a rubber ball, and maybe his health is a rubber ball, and his hobbies and whatever else interest that he has are rubber balls. But the family ball is a glass ball. And when you're juggling, you drop that family ball, that thing, will crack. All other balls, they'll bounce back. But that family ball, man, if you drop it, it's so delicate that it breaks into a bunch of pieces, and it's hard to put it back together again. I'm not saying it won't, but when you do, it doesn't come back the same. And so a lot of brothers are, trying to regain trust in the home just because we're a different guy at home than we are in the workforce. Many of us are highly respected, you know what I'm saying, in our craft, in our profession. When it comes to home, we're just trifling. And what I've discovered is you can almost tell how disciplined a man is, not based upon what he does in the gym, not based upon what he does at work, but what does he do and how he leads his home well. All right. And so the hardest person to lead is not your woman. The hardest person to lead, and you're being judged by that. Draymond Green is a great example of this. Draymond Green, all-star, great player, great all-around player, amazing player. The man is great on the court, but has a hard time managing his emotions. Even now, after he got suspended, we see him it's just like, dude, this brother just kind of lacks self-leadership sometimes. And when his team needs him the most, many times he finds himself, unable to perform because he could not manage himself. He got so caught up in him, right, that he forgot about the big picture of the team. And, we've seen multiple cases of this over and over again. And my favorite one of all time, as a LeBron James and Cleveland Cavaliers fan, is when he, hit Bron in the midsection here in this picture. And he got put out of game, I think it was either game 5 or 6 in the NBA Finals. The Cavs ended up coming back in 2016 and won the championship. Yes, sir. Anyway, thank you, Draymond. We really appreciate that. But anyway, the point is I'm just using that as an example. And I don't know Draymond. Everything I hear about Draymond, he's an amazing person, philanthropic, great husband, great dad, so forth and so on. But he has this one little thing on the basketball court where he can't seem to manage his emotions. And I found out a lot of men have this in their lives where they have this thing, and the thing just always happens to be something at home. And it's just like, no, you can't drop that ball. When that breaks, it's hard to put that back together. Reason why our women struggle to follow us is because great leadership doesn't start at home. Great leadership starts with you. Great leadership starts with you. Great leadership starts with self-leadership. Are you leading yourself well? Are you managing your emotions? Are you managing your response? Are you managing your relationships? How are you handling home? We got to get away from the mindset that home is the woman's domain, right? You can't ask for leadership at home and then acquiesce, home as the woman's domain. Case in point, man, I would work so hard, and my wife would too. So in fairness, both of us at work, when we got home, I was the one who wanted to sit down on the couch, watch TV, or just get something to eat and chill. And my wife would be the one working with my kids all night on homework. And so we began. So what happened is this began to become a problem. So my wife would come home. She would come home mad because she already knew what the life was going to be like, because I'm sitting around trifling. The house is a mess. I'm not really helping. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're both working now. So all this stuff about her being the homemaker, bruh, come on. You sound stupid. Both of y'all gone, right? So here I am, you know what I'm saying? And she comes home going to work. And by the way, I just want to throw this out here. Fellas, your real work doesn't start at 9 and end at 5, but your real work starts when you leave your job. That's when your real work starts. And that's when we need you on your game. That's when we need you sharp. I don't care what happened at work all day. Your kids don't deserve that. Your wife don't deserve your leftovers, which is why my wife could say to me, dude, you're Superman out there. You know what I'm saying? But you're Clark Kent at home. This is the mindset I want us to break free from, because if we want our women to surrender leadership to us, trust us with leadership, follow our lead, then we got to start leading and winning in the things that matter. Leadership is more about leading yourself than others. Your potential to lead others is directly connected to your ability to lead yourself. Oh, man. And so here I am at the house, wife, she come in, she go to work. Wife, come in, check your kids. And I picked up the kids, I brought them home. My wife going to work, she helping with homework. She making sure she doing that, she doing that. And where am I? I'm chilling. Sometimes I be playing video games. Real talk, just chilling, just not even thinking about that. I'm tired. And then when I'm asked to help, real talk, I have an attitude. And then later on that night, I want to tap her at midnight and be like, yo, you awake? You know what I'm saying? Can I get to the yams? Sweet yams. Like, and she like, nah, I ain't gonna be no yams, fam. Dude, I'm not attracted to you right now. You're lazy. You're trifling. The house was a mess. Bruh, put some food on the table. Help me with the kids' homework. I don't care if this is not your thing. So what we ended up having to do, I was like, okay, I'm not the homework guy. Right. I'm not the homework guy, but because she's good at that. Right. I was like, yo, so what I can do is I can make sure everything else in the house is legit. So I started asking this question: how can I support you? At the beginning of the day, I started asking, how can I support you? How can I support you? How can I make your world better today? How can I make your world easier today? And a lot of times we as men don't think about that because a lot of times we're thinking about ourselves, right? And we can say, I can have the same speech to women too. Don't get it twisted. I'm called to men. All right. So don't even think I ain't male bashing. I ain't on that. But I'm just saying I'm dealing with the brothers. Somebody else can deal with these sisters, and maybe I will another day. But I'm just telling you right now, women can be just as selfish as men. That's another conversation. However, having said that, fellas, what I need you to understand is that, look, I need you to start processing the fact that you will get the fellowship when you demonstrate self-leadership and leading yourself well, your emotions, how you respond, your initiative in things that matter the most is what earns you the right, which earns you the trust. So here are two reasons why people follow anybody. Number one, because they trust them and they respect them. And look, if I'm going to be trusted and respected, it's going to be trusted and respected based upon what I do when I don't want to do it. Where am I leading that requires service and sacrifice? Where am I leading that requires selflessness? Where am I leading where it's not about me, but it's about others? It's that servant leadership that we see from Christ. Where is that? If you follow. All right, let me keep moving. I love this example in 2 Samuel 11. I'll just use this as a quick example to get out of your way. It says, then it happened, all right, in the spring, sorry about that typo, at the time when the kings go out to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel, and they brought destruction to the sons of Ammon and besieged them. All right, so here's David. David is, King David. He's, finally subdued his enemies. He's successful. He's chilling in the palace. It says, and then he sends all of his dudes out to war. So I want you to see this in the context of family. So he sends all of his dudes out to war. He's like, yo, we're good now. I don't even got to fight anymore. I'll send my dudes out to war. I'm just going to stay here and chill and let them handle this in the time of war. But the Bible says now at evening time, David got up from his bed, walked around on the roof of the king's house. And from the roof, he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very beautiful in appearance. Now, this is important. Verse 3. So David sent servants and inquired about the woman, and someone said, is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? The reason why somebody's saying that is they're like, dude, why are you fooling around with your boy's wife? Uriah is, your Secret Service detail leader. Why would you, come on, bro, he's out to battle. You gonna mess with this man's wife? Why he's out to battle? And understand this, and you can disagree with me all day, but this is what the definition of power rape. And I'm not a feminist nor a patriarchy person, but I got to call it what it is. In those days, women didn't have rights. David inquiring of Bathsheba is literally David using his power as king. Nobody told him no, to tell that woman to come on. This is not adultery like we would like to describe it, y'all. This is more like power rape here. He's like, go get this woman. And people are trying to tell him, yo, man, come on, don't do this thing. This is your boy's wife. So David's just wrong on many levels. Verse 4, then David sent messengers and had her brought. And when she came to him, he slept with her, right? And it doesn't say they had relations together, right? And when she had purified herself from her uncleanness, she returned to the house. So, I have Tiger Woods here. Again, David, and I'm putting this up here because David, great man, great king, worshiper, did good for God's people. Man couldn't manage himself well when he got by himself. And this was me. I was addicted to pornography. So I'm just like, how can you expect people to follow you when you are trifling with you? Where am I? And here's a question that people can ask: where am I following you to? Tiger Woods, amazing on the golf course, and this is what I see with a lot of men, and this is what I really want to speak into, right? And let me just say this: a lot of you brothers right here, I want to help you. Please come to the men's conference in Atlanta, April 5 and 6. And because this is really what we're going to try to help you to do. How can I start winning and being as dominant, and I'm saying dominant in the sense of victory. How can I be as effective at home, or even more effective at home? I want to win in every area of my life. Tiger Woods, great golfer, the best golfer probably that we have ever seen. Bro has some serious problems and some issues. If you watch the documentary, couldn't manage himself well. I find this with a lot of men and people in general, let's be honest, but a lot of men, we want people to follow us, but where are you taking me? Where are you going? And I'm not just talking about a destination physically. I'm talking about, where am I going to become a better person by following you? Is what your wife and your children may be thinking. Am I going to get closer to God by following you? Are our finances going to improve by following you? Is the atmosphere of the house going to be more peaceful as a result of following you? Are we going to position ourselves as a family to be the best version of ourselves by following you? Are we going to be emotionally healthy by following you? Are we going to be spiritually connected by following your leader? And I'm not trying to be facetious, but I'm just saying, like, bro, like, where you're leading is very important to where people are going to follow. Like, where are you going? If we all said, you know what, we're going to follow this man, where is he going to take us? And the way that where we know he's going to take us is, my brother, and this is what I had to learn, is based upon how I'm leading me. Where am I leading me? Because wherever you lead yourself is where you're going to lead your family. That's sobering. Mike Tyson, another one, amazing boxer, lost to Buster Douglas and had some other personal issues. But one of the things one of the reasons why I put Mike Tyson up here is Mike Tyson gave an amazing definition for discipline. He said, discipline is doing the thing that you hate to do, but knowing that that thing is good for you. He says, when you embrace doing things that suck, that require growth out of you. One of the things that has really helped me to grow since, being married to my wife is watching my wife taking care of her father. Watching my wife selfishly taking care of the children was always a rebuke to how selfish I was. Here I am wanting to sit down and do nothing and just watching my wife go, 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 go. Care, 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 care. Serve, 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 serve. And I'm just like, what it did for me was God speaking to me through her, like, dude, you're selfish. You're selfish. You're better off following her, because at least if you follow her, she's gonna lead you to unselfishness. For many of us, if a man was to, if we just divested everything and said, brother, we following you, where are you going? I had to ask myself that question: where am I taking them? Where am I taking them? A lot of men have never really thought about where, if I am in leadership, where am I taking them? I'll give you an example. I'm the pastor of a church, and I'm getting ready to end my tenure as a pastor of a church I've pastored for 15 years. My members have every right to ask me, if this man is our pastor, where is he taking us? And one of the things I discovered is my leadership at the church was not so much what I asked people to do for me, but it was what I modeled that I was doing for me as an example to them of what they knew that I was going to ask of them. And it's very difficult to ask of people to do things that I am unwilling to do. And so we can never expect more out of others than we expect out of ourselves. if we're going to lead our families well, brothers, we have to first start with leading ourselves well. If we're going to lead our families well, fellas, we have to first start with asking ourselves, if my wife and children literally said, we are going to follow you blindly, where would you take them? What is the vision? What is the destination? What kind of development will happen with your family along the way? I've seen some families, and honestly, many times you can tell what the leadership is like because the family is regressing under their leadership. I ought to be better, is what my wife and children should be saying. I ought to be better because you're in this house. I ought to be better. I ought to be happier. Now, don't give me now. I'll fix that up maybe another day. But I'm just saying, like, men are thermostats, women are thermometers. Women reflect the temperature of the household. They let us know what's happening. They will give us a sense on, is it hot or is it cold? Men should set the temperature. We're the ones that ought to make sure there's joy, that there's peace. We got to do that. We can only do the best that we can. But how does it happen? There's peace within us. There's joy within us. I'm leading myself well. You want your family to be spiritual. Are you spiritual? You want your family to be successful. Are you prioritizing the details of life behind the scenes in your life? You want your family to be healthy? Are you healthy? If you want to lead your family well, you got to lead yourself well. Anyway, man, that was a mouthful. That was a mouthful. So I just want to say this, fellas, especially those of you who are serious about leading well and about winning in what matters. I want to pause right now and invite you. I'm begging you. I'm pleading with you. If you're interested, I want you to join me at the Men's Winning Circle Conference. Now, yesterday, our special discounted price for registration actually ended. It ended yesterday. All right. I said it ended yesterday. So if you want to get that special price, right? If you want that special price for the conference and you missed the discount yesterday because it is closed, right? The price is going up. And I want to do something special because I really want to help men to lead themselves well so that they can lead their families well. Yes, I hope you lead well in your job, but and this is what's going to happen on April 5 and 6 in Atlanta, Georgia. And listen, the where to register is at winningscircleconference.com. But if you want the special discount that ended yesterday, I'm feeling generous. And I want to make that discount available to brothers who are serious about winning in what matters and who want to get better and who are not going to keep passing it off. Honestly, let me say this. There are some wives that know what I'm doing. And they know, what I'm doing to help men. And I've heard women say, and they are watching to see how you take advantage of these opportunities. Many of you would do well. It would say a lot to your family if you were like, you know what? I'm finally going to do something that actually is going to benefit me and my family. I'm going to this conference. And it would be like, okay, wife's taking notice. This brother's serious. He's trying to grow. He's trying to get better. I've never seen a woman, a wife, a man say, look, I want to go to this conference. It costs X amount. It's like, nah, we can't afford that. Like, they're like, go here. Where you want to spend the money too? Like, they're looking for us to grow. They're looking for us to improve. But a lot of times I find it's real hard with men sometimes to take advantage of these opportunities. And I'm saying, I want you there so bad that I've told my team, okay, go ahead and raise the price, but I'm still going to give them a discount. And if you want to be at my conference, listen very carefully. If you want to be at my conference in Atlanta, April 5 and 6, and we only have limited space for 350 men, and we're getting closer and closer to, filling up this thing up. But if you want to come, listen to me, brother, if you want to come and you want that discount, I want you to DM me on Instagram or DM me in Messenger, right? Or email me at team at myronedmonds.com, team, TEAM at myronedmonds.com. Email me at team at myronedmonds.com or DM me on Instagram or message me on Messenger. Any one of those things. If you send me this message, hook me up. That's all I want you to say. Say, hook me up. I'm going to send you a coupon code so you can have the discount and you can be at this conference. Did you hear what I just said? You need to DM me today if you plan to be on the conference and you want the special discount that ended yesterday, but I'm feeling generous. I want you to be there. I want you to DM me, message me on Messenger, Facebook. Email me, team@myronevans.com, right? Instagram, it's Myron Live. Messenger, get me there. Email, team@myronevans.com. And send me this message, hook me up. That's it. Just say, hook me up, and I got you. And I'll make sure you get that discount so that you're here so that you can finally start winning in what matters. All right, fellas. Y'all have a great day. Peace.